Dear friends, I would like to speak this week something about the danger of tribalism. The main feature of any kind of tribalism is primitivism. In the ages past, tribes were after each other just because they could. In the eyes of a tribe, no outsider was worthy of respect, and everyone else was a threat. Today, despite all modern sophistications, we are returning to the age of tribalism just as savage as any in the former barbarian ages. Bitter rivalries between ideological, political, gender, racial, ethnic, national, social, or economic, or cultural tribes are defining our days. It is not the war of civilizations that we are facing, but the war of tribes, each determined to settle the scores of the bygone herds, real, perceived, or even falsified. Nothing else matters anymore except one's tribal pride. It seems everyone is up against everyone else in this war of survival of the meanest. Each tribe demands a revolution or a retribution of some kind. Histories are being discovered and rediscovered, constructed and reconstructed, designed and redesigned, or even cancelled. Everyone provokes and blames the other with gusto while declaring their own innocence. The other is always at fault, while we are always innocent victims of the other side. It seems everyone demands justice and respect, while showing none or little to the other. And everyone screams that to be on the right side of history means pledging our allegiance to their cause alone. And everyone venerates only their own villains as heroes. One of many problems we have is that we are disgusted with injustice, unrighteousness, nationalism, racism, lack of empathy, and lack of love in others, while we do not see nor admit our own demons of the same kind. Often we are the cheerleaders in tribalism, while at the same time we condemn others for the same. The words of Jesus are speaking to me and to you too, when he says, "You hypocrites, first take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye." But it shouldn't be so if we trust in Jesus. For us, followers of Jesus, the most urgent priority lies in finding a way to be above and removed far away from any form of tribalism. We must choose our battles carefully and with discernment. The tribal wars of self-righteousness, self-victimization, and uncritical blame of anyone but ourselves are not our wars. While it is true that we can't stay neutral, we can't afford to let ourselves be tribally prostituted either. For our struggle is not against flesh or blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. And if the cynics of today are so quick to label us a tribe too, let it be clear that our identity is in Jesus Christ alone, and never in any form of tribalism, whether national or ethnic or racial or religious or any other form of ideological tribalism. Likewise, our identity is not in any kind of supremacism, whether white, black, brown, or of any other color or ideological persuasion. Let me say it again and very firmly: no racism, no nationalism, no supremacism, no fascism or communism, or any other ideological tribalism, even if blanketed in Christian clothes and buttressed by biblical quotes, has anything in common with the claims of the kingdom of God. Our identity is formed as we are continually looking upon Jesus Christ and thus becoming a new creation in him. So friends, let us be careful with our allegiances, lest we find ourselves fighting wars that do not belong to us. I'm Tihomir Kukolja, and this was a weekly edition of Something to Think About. I'll be seeing you next week, God willing. God bless.